No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for December 11th, 2023. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. We are now on the road to the Royal Rumble, which is still quite a ways away, but WWE planting the seeds for the Rumble and potentially for WrestleMania. So let's get to it. This week's Raw was in Cleveland, Ohio. And shame on you, Joey. You should be watching this and only this. Forget about Monday Night Football. It's all about the no DQ recap of Monday Night Raw. Anyways, we had footage shown from last week's Raw. Drew McIntyre attacking Sami Zayn. And then McIntyre attacking Jey Uso at the end of the show. We had Jey Uso coming to the ring for a promo before his match against McIntyre. He did reveal that he got Yeet back. The catchphrase Yeet, there was apparently a trademark issue, but it was resolved. Jey Uso once again with the shirt, and he's saying it again. I know some people find it annoying, but he's really over right now, and he's selling a ton of merchandise. The Yeet shirt is on fire. The crowd says it during the matches. It's good for him. I'm glad they were able to resolve whatever issue there was, and that wrestler that registered the trademark, maybe he got a good payday out of it. Anyways, Drew McIntyre came down to the ring, said that they do not want CM Punk in WWE and on Monday Night Raw because all Punk is going to do is destroy the locker room. Maybe a little AEW reference here. Crowd was chanting CM Punk, and then McIntyre turned his attention to Jey, talked about Jey having a fake-ass apology. He started mocking Jey and the taunt. That led to the match, Drew McIntyre versus Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. Sami Zayn's out of commission for a while, and according to reports, he has taken some time off from WWE, maybe until the beginning of the year. McIntyre versus Jey Uso. McIntyre was dominating early on, but then they were on the outside of the ring, and McIntyre went for a Claymore, but he missed and crashed on the announce table. Then back in the ring, McIntyre was able to regain the upper hand. At one point, he catapulted Jey. Jey was under the ring skirt and got catapulted into the ring foundation. And then Jey Uso started to make a comeback. He caught McIntyre with a couple of super kicks, went for the big Uso splash, but Drew got his knees up, hit the Future Shock DDT on Jey. Jey was able to kick out, and then McIntyre removed the turnbuckle padding. Jey Uso hit a spear, McIntyre kicked out, and then as the referee was grabbing the pad, McIntyre gouged the eye of Jey Uso and then finished him off with the Claymore. Drew McIntyre picks up the win with some dirty tactics. Good stuff here. Good opening match. I enjoyed it. McIntyre builds up some momentum. And then we had a video package, basically a recap of CM Punk's promo from SmackDown. And they even included the line that was seemingly an AEW reference with Kevin Owens punching people backstage and CM Punk saying it's 2023. You can't be doing that. Caleb, I saw your super chat. I promise you I will get to it, but I want to make sure it's on the topic that we're talking about. So stay tuned for that. I will get to it. We had a Nakamura video package talking about Cody Rhodes, and he said that Cody is not going to finish his story. It's like a dog chasing a car. And Nakamura said he's been reborn. He said he's going to bring Cody's story to an end. And as he was talking, we had some cool artwork of Nakamura standing tall over a fallen Cody Rhodes. They've been doing a great job, WWE, with these Shinsuke Nakamura video packages, I must say. John Aaron sent in a $1 super chat. Thank you for that, John Aaron. I appreciate it. And he said a little donation. Thank you. Thank you for that. Much love. We had Judgment Day backstage, and they're having some issues again. Dominic Mysterio lost the North American title at Deadline. Finn Balor feels like the wheels are falling off. And now they got the Creed brothers to worry about. Rhea Ripley said she's going to make an example out of Maxine Dupri. And then we had R-Truth backstage with the Alpha Academy. And he had some Christmas lights. He wanted to decorate the Judgment Day clubhouse for Easter. And then he wished everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Great to have R-Truth back. And then we had Rhea Ripley versus Maxine Dupri. Match was not that good. It was short and probably a good thing. Rhea Ripley kept trying to pick up Maxine and was not getting her up there. Like first she went for a power bomb and botched it the first time and tried to do it a second time, and the counter looked really sloppy. Maxine was supposed to send Rhea into the corner, and they just did not execute the spot very well. And Rhea did make short work of her. She hit the Riptide, which also did not look very good. Like she struggled to get Maxine up. So for whatever reason, these two were not on the same page here. And Rhea was trash talking, and then she applied her submission, got the win, and then had a stare down with Ivy Nile. And hopefully that will be a better match. Ivy Nile was out there supporting Maxine. Alpha Academy and the Creed brothers have a little bit of a bond at this point. So looks like Ivy Nile might be next in line. And like I said, I hope that that's a better match than this one. We had Chance and Carter. They were apparently at the of EDC, which is the Electric Dance Carnival. It's rave music. So I guess that's their gimmick. They're ravers. They're the life of the party. That's their gimmick. We had Adam Pearce in the ring. So they did the CM Punk segment at 9 o'clock, which is an interesting approach instead of saving it for the end. Maybe they thought like it would be a better idea. They would get a stronger number at 9 o'clock. So Adam Pearce introduced CM Punk. Punk cut this long promo about Cleveland, Ohio, where the show was, talked about his history in Cleveland, making his debut in Cleveland, of course, walking out in 2014. He did not mention the UFC fight in 2016. I was at that, and he got his ass kicked. I guess it was better to not mention that one. And he talked about wanting to put that in the rearview mirror. He did apologize formally to the fans that were disappointed in him walking out. He said he had to take himself off that hamster wheel. And he said that he's looked over the offers. He said Raw was the best deal for him, head and shoulders above the others. So he said his future starts now. And he officially joined the Monday Night Raw roster. Very good segment here. This alone would have been a hell of a segment. CM Punk officially signing his contract, but then we got Seth freaking Rollins showing up, and as Jim Ross might say, business picked up. We had the big stare down with these guys. The crowd was chanting "holy shit," got censored, of course, by USA Network, and Rollins said, "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins." And he was making it clear, CM Punk, do not call this place your home. Crowd chanted CM Punk. Rollins said that Punk abandoned the place 10 years ago and was actively trying to tear it down. Rollins said that WWE is his home, not Punk's home. Said that the locker room is like his family, and he is going to do whatever it takes to protect his family from CM Punk. Almost felt like the Hangman Adam Page promo from AEW on CM Punk, where Page said that he's going to fight to stop CM Punk. He's going to do it on behalf of AEW. Had very similar vibes to that. And then Rollins said that one of two things is going to happen. Rollins hates CM Punk, and he thinks that either Punk is going to self-destruct and expose himself, or by some miracle, CM Punk gets lucky and stands across Rollins in a world title match. And at that point, Rollins said he will expose CM Punk for the fraud that he is and will wrestle circles around him. Brought up how it's Punk's last chance. Punk responded, wanting to know if Rollins was done, and said that that's Rollins' one pass. Next time he's going to get beat up. Punk said that he always does things the hard way, and he did call Adam Pearce over and said that he is officially entering the 2024 Royal Rumble, and maybe, just maybe, he will choose Seth Rollins for his opponent. And Punk's music hit, and we had the end of the segment. This was fantastic. I mean, these guys did such a great job. Seth Rollins, in my opinion, cut his best promo in years. I agree with this one comment here in the chat room about how Rollins is really good when he's serious. You know, some people don't like the goofy Seth Rollins, and he was serious here. He was on the money for sure. I really enjoyed this segment. Definitely worth checking out if you missed it. I mean, it's great because they take the stuff in real life and put it into the storyline, and it was very effective. Like, I was engaged with this segment more than just about anything this year, with maybe the exception of the Sami Zayn and Jey Uso Roman Reigns stuff. I mean, this was fantastic TV. I really enjoyed it a lot. Colin Andrew was there at the show. Shout out to Colin. He says the arena was on fire for the segment. Now, we do have some super chats here. Caleb, I told you I would get to your super chat, says, Punk is winning the Rumble. This was a tease. And that's the great thing about it. It's not a clear path. Like, could it be CM Punk? Sure. Is it going to be Cody? Who knows? But now there's some doubt. We don't know where WWE is going to go with this. And I like that it could be Punk. It could be Cody Rhodes. Maybe somebody else will get a strong storyline and be a serious contender for it. But I like that they're building up Punk as the alternative to Cody Rhodes and keeps you guessing. John Aaron sent in a $2.79 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, do you think CM Punk will fade in WWE like in AEW? I think that the only way that happens is if CM Punk allows it to happen. if CM Punk's on his A game and stays out of trouble, I think he's going to have a tremendous run. And this should be a great finale for his career to make up for everything that's happened over the past 7-8 years between walking out and then going to AEW and that not panning out. Like this is CM Punk's chance to end his career on a high note. And if it doesn't happen, I think the blame will likely fall on him and not the company. Rage of Wrestling, Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat, says, see what happens when people do business. Well, for now, I mean, cross your fingers. Anything can happen. Who knows if CM Punk will still be around in 6 months? You never know. That's the thing. We never thought CM Punk would come back. Will he stay healthy? I mean, he got injured a few times in AEW and also the behavioral issues. Hopefully that's not a problem here, and he ends his career on a high note. But for now, it's looking very promising. I mean, I'm definitely stoked for this CM Punk and Seth Rollins match, and I think it's got to be the night one main event. Like, nothing else can top it as far as I'm concerned. We had Bronson Reed and Ivar backstage, and oh no, we didn't have them backstage. Never mind. We had a match between these guys. Pretty good match here, you know. What you would expect with these guys. It was one of those big, meaty men slapping meat, but unfortunately we didn't get the chance or anything. But it was a fun big man match. You know, they would do the double collision. Ivar got in quite a bit of offense. He did this spine buster into a power bomb, sit down spine buster, whatever you want to call it. And then Ivar did this somersault dive off the top to the outside, which is pretty crazy with a guy of his size. And then both of them ended up on the top, and Bronson Reed delivered a big superplex. Ring did not break, but it looked pretty cool, and Bronson Reed got the win with the superplex, which I really liked a lot because I feel like so often these days we see these big spots and it's not the finish. And I think that it's a good thing to sometimes do something that you might not expect to be the finish if it looks good. And in this case, it looked good. Like you could feel the impact of it. It was almost like it should have broken the ring. So you would think that, yeah, that superplex took a lot out of both guys, and Bronson Reed just barely had enough to put one arm over Ivar to get the win. So yeah, I really liked the finish of this a lot. The Game is on 100 sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, would not surprise me if they pull a Royal Rumble 94 again. They could. I mean, I would definitely not rule out some sort of draw scenario. Also, keep in mind we have Elimination Chamber, so the loser could end up winning the chamber match to get the world title match. But here's the thing. Another reason I really liked the CM Punk and Seth Rollins segment is that now if Punk chooses Seth Rollins instead of Roman Reigns, it makes sense because they already have this animosity and Punk has something to prove. Before I was thinking, why would Punk choose Rollins over Reigns when Reigns has the longer title run and is the top champion and he's the night 2 main event? But this is a bit personal now, and Punk really has something to prove. So I thought it was very effective in building that up as the potential night 1 main event. And we'll see what they do. Could be a draw, or one guy wins the Rumble, the other guy wins Elimination Chamber and gets the title match. But thank you for the super chat. We had CM Punk meeting various people backstage, including Judgment Day. And then Judgment Day came to the ring for a promo. And they said they're once again putting everyone on notice. And then R-Truth came out with his Christmas lights. He said that the front and back door, the doors for the clubhouse were locked. He said he had some ideas, and Damian Priest was like, sure, what are your ideas? And he brought up how they should kick out JD McDonough from Judgment Day. And then furthermore, R-Truth said that Damian Priest should stop calling himself boss because that is just going to make mommy mad. Priest said, hey, R-Truth, he's a funny guy. But while everybody might love Truth, there's one person that doesn't, and that's Damian Priest. He attacked R-Truth. They beat him down, and then the Creeds made the save. The Creeds cleared the ring. Sad day, R-Truth got kicked out of Judgment Day. But this was a fun segment. You know, they're really making the most of R-Truth, and I don't feel like he's hurting the segments at all. Like, he's bringing some humor to it, but they're also keeping Judgment Day credible. Well done. I enjoyed this segment. Good stuff. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $5 super chat. Shout out to Dwayne. Hope you're doing well. Says, do you think CM Punk intentionally got fired because he wanted to return to WWE? Just curious. I don't think he intentionally got fired, but I don't think he was losing sleep over it. I think he was having the attitude, whatever happens, happens. After what went down in 2022 after All Out, there were doubts that CM Punk was going to be brought back. I mean, he went to a WWE event. He attended a show. He attended an Impact Wrestling show, and when Seth Rollins made that comment about CM Punk being a cancer before the Royal Rumble, I think that people were thinking that there was always a chance that Punk could come back and AEW might not pan out. I mean, people thought that Punk wasn't even going to be brought back, and he was brought back, and we saw what happened. And a lot of people predicted that too, that Punk was not going to last. So it just wasn't meant to be between Punk and AEW. I don't think he showed up in London thinking, okay, I'm going to get fired this weekend. I think he just went there, and then Jack Perry said that thing, and knowing Punk, like, he's going to confront the guy, and things went south. Moving on here, we had CM Punk meeting with Drew McIntyre backstage. First encounter between Punk and McIntyre. And Punk was talking to him, and Adam Pearce was there. Apparently, Adam Pearce granted Drew McIntyre a World Heavyweight Championship match on the first Raw of the new year, which I believe is January 1st. So they're doing the January 1st Raw. Drew McIntyre will challenge Seth Rollins for the world title. I'm a little surprised they're not doing this at the Royal Rumble. Now, Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Rollins versus McIntyre on Raw, non-finish. They could, if they're going to build to a rematch at the Royal Rumble. I could definitely see a DQ or something along those lines. But after tonight, and we'll get to that in a few minutes, I'm not the biggest fan of doing a long match that ends in a DQ. I suppose if it advances the story, then you can do it, but don't do it too often. And doing it on January 1st, I think, would be a little bit too soon after the end of this show. Spoiler alert. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Dwayne. I very much appreciate it. Says, will R-Truth help the Creeds win the titles, or will Shinsuke Nakamura cost them? Well, Nakamura is involved in his own storyline with Cody Rhodes right now. And R-Truth, I could see him doing more stuff with Alpha Academy. Keep in mind, they got Tozawa there. They got the comedy, and Otis can do the comedy. So it looks like, they're just a fun-loving mid-card comedy group. And when it's time to get serious, Chad Gable can certainly get serious. But yeah, I don't know if Creeds are going to win the titles or not, but hey, that would be a nice touch if R-Truth was able to get some revenge on the Judgment Day. Next up on Raw, we had, I forgot to mention CM Punk also met up with his old buddy Kofi Kingston, Chad Gable, and Ricochet. I like that they have CM Punk going around backstage and taking care of the others by interacting with them and being happy to be there. I like it. I like the interactions. And CM Punk made a reference to Mike Adamle, the old announcer for Raw back in the day, 2008, Jamaica Me Crazy, which was quite infamous. We had Caden Carter and Katana Chance, the party goers, the ravers, the Molly Poppers. I don't know what their actual team name is, if they even have one. They went up against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Candice and Indy are basically enhancement talent at this point. Basic match here. Showcase match for Carter and Chance. Piper and Chelsea were on commentary. Natalya and Tegan Knox were watching backstage. Carter and Chance won. They pinned Candice with what I think is called the after party. That's their double team finishing move. So the Molly Poppers get a win. And then we had DIY backstage. They were confronted by Imperium. I guess a 6-man tag team match had been set up, and Gunther wanted to know who their partner was going to be. Didn't think that they would be able to come up with anybody. Then we had Becky Lynch come into the ring for a promo, and she called out Nia Jax. She showed footage from 5 years ago when Nia broke the nose of Becky, that iconic scene, Becky with the blood on her face. And Becky said for the past 5 years, they've been unable to get in the ring one-on-one because there's various circumstances and events that happened. For instance, Becky Lynch main evented WrestleMania. Nia Jax had double knee surgery. Becky said that Nia is so unlikable that even her own knees wouldn't stand up for her. Then Becky said she went on to have a child. Nia Jax got fired. Good stuff here from Becky. Again, you blend the real life stuff with the storyline. It's usually compelling. Nia Jax showed up, and we got some more verbal jabs back and forth. Nia said it was a lucky swing, and she didn't even get all of it. Imagine if she actually got the full shot on Becky. Becky would not get up. And Becky brought up how, because Nia Jax is the most dangerous woman in WWE. Nia is always injuring people and almost ended a couple of careers, which again, a reference to the real life controversies surrounding Nia Jax, hurting people. And Nia Jax said that she's the woman that made the man, and that Becky needs her more than she needs Becky. Becky wanted a fight. She even offered Nia the opportunity to punch her, but Nia decided not to do it. We're going to have to wait on this one for a little bit while. Segment was interesting, I will say that. Not even close to CM Punk and Seth Rollins level, but it was pretty solid, and I like the jabs and blending the real life with the storyline. So I did think overall it was a good segment. We had Cody Rhodes backstage cutting a promo to hype up his main event match against Shinsuke Nakamura. And then we had Imperium versus DIY and their tag team partner, who turned out to be The Miz in Cleveland. Miz teaming up with DIY, even though they've been feuding for a while. But Miz is now a good guy. He's a Cleveland native. Same thing with Johnny Gargano. Solid match here. Pretty basic stuff. Gunther took a cheap shot. Imperium got the upper hand for a while. Then we got a hot tag with Gargano coming in. And then Miz came off the top of the springboard crossbody. Things broke down. Everybody in the ring. Miz put on the figure 4 to Gunther. Gargano applied the Gargano escape to Kaiser, but Vinci was able to tag in. However, Miz took him down with the skull-crushing finale. Hometown guy wins. It was fun. And it did have a follow-up segment where Miz confronted Gunther backstage and wanted a rematch. Gunther granted it, but with the stipulation that if he wins, the Miz can never challenge for the Intercontinental title again as long as Gunther is champion. He should have gone a step further. Like when he was saying this, like, if I win, you can no longer. I was thinking he was going to say, like, you can never challenge for the title again, period. I'd be more intrigued if they had that as the stipulation. Like, Miz can never challenge as long as Gunther's champion. I mean, Gunther might lose it by WrestleMania, so I think they should have gone a bit further and say Miz can never compete for the Intercontinental title again, period. I would have been more intrigued by that. But anyways, they're doing the rematch. It's time filler. Miz ain't winning the title. It is what it is. We had our main event. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cody Rhodes. They got a very lengthy match. Like, it started right around 9:30, or not 9:30, 10:30. And Nakamura dominated the early part. Cody went for a Cody cutter, but Nakamura countered it into an armbar. Cody tried to hit the crossroads, but Nakamura countered that into another armbar. Cody's arm was hurting. He was selling it. And after 2 commercial breaks, Cody started to make a comeback. He hit his cutter successfully. And then Nakamura avoided the crossroads and used his poison mist right in front of the referee, causing a disqualification. He then went for a steel chair, and the Creed brothers ran out there to make the save. Nakamura then attacked Cody one more time as Cody was being helped to the back, and then Raw went off the air. So I get continuing the feud and doing the DQ, but did this match really need to be as long as it was in the main event spot just to be a disqualification? It just made me feel like the match was a waste of time. If you're going to do a DQ finish, make the match short. I know if you put it at the end and it starts at 10:55, like, then everybody knows, okay, something screwy's happening here. So don't put it in the main event. Put it earlier in the show. Let it be a 5-minute match, and then do your DQ finish. It bugs me when they do like a 25-minute match that ends in a DQ. It just makes me think like I wasted my time. I get what they're doing here. They're building up to a future match with these guys, but just do a 5-minute match in the middle of the show. Don't make it the main event. It felt like a flat ending to me, and it did bring the show down a little bit for me personally. But overall, very good Raw. I mean, the Punk and Rollins stuff alone was excellent. Like, that was top tier. And we did have some good angles on the show. I liked the Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre stuff. I did like the Becky Lynch and Nia Jax promo. And the wrestling was solid. Not as good as last week. I mean, this was definitely a more angle-driven show than last week. So it was not the same type of show, but very good show this week. Ending brought it down a little bit for me. So I'm going with a B+. I was going towards an A-, but yeah, the DQ brought it down a little bit. B+, very good Raw. Punk is great. Seth Rollins did a fantastic job. Definitely looking forward to the Royal Rumble. They got me invested already, and we still got, what, 6-7 weeks to go until the Royal Rumble. Very curious to see where they go over the next several weeks. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to be a fan if they do another type of DQ finish with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. But I am at the same time wondering, why are they not doing this at the Rumble as a title match? So would not shock me if they do another DQ or double count out or something like that. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube and spread the word. Tell a friend about NoDQ.com. Stay tuned to NoDQ for the very latest news and rumors, and buy a shirt. NoDQ.com/merch. You can pick up a shirt or a hat or a mug. Lots of stuff there on the site. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I will see you all next time.